adding fractions. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your math notebook if you have it, which is, I think, only in my homeroom. And if you don't have that, just get yourself a piece of paper, a napkin, something that you can glue in your math notebook later. You can pause this video to go get it. I will be right here. Okay, hopefully you paused it, or if not, you just looked at me awkwardly for a second. How to add fractions. I'm going to write this on my nifty notepad. Add fractions. All right, here we go. Step 1. Put over a common denominator. Put over a common denominator. Yes, I know this is backward, but I know you can read. You're going to put your fractions over a common denominator. Remember, common means same, denominator is bottom number. We want two fractions with the same bottom number. So, if I give you the problem, 1/2 plus 2/3, the first thing we're going to want to do is put 1/2 and 2/3 over a common denominator. How do we do that? Well, last 2 weeks, sometime, we learned that we have to find the least common multiple of the two. So, I'm going to list my multiples of 2 and my multiples of 3. If you count by 2s, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on and so forth. There's my list of 2s. For 3, you have 3, 6, 9. Wait a second. If you look here, 2 has a 6 and 3 has a 6, so I believe we have just found our common denominator. I'm going to put common denom is 6. Ding, 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 ding. Common denom is 6. Now we get to set up our favorite problems. Our mantra is whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. I picture it like you're here. So we are going to do that. We have 1/2, and we want to set it equal to something over 6. We have 2/3, and we want to set it equal to something over 6. This should definitely ring a bell. Alright, so whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. On the bottom here, we have 2. We need to get to 6, so I'm going to multiply by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So I'm multiplying 1 by 3 also. And 1 times 3 is 3, so my new fraction is going to be 3/6. Notice 1/2 and 3/6 are equivalent. They're equivalent. Okay, and now I'm going to switch my 2/3. So I multiplied 3 times 2 to get 6. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. 2 times 2, which is 4. There is my second equivalent fraction. So my new fractions with the same denominator are 3/6, which is equivalent to 1/2, and 4/6, which is equivalent to 2/3. I'm going to just freeze this page. I know it's backward, but you can at least look at it for a second. So I'm going to hold it up to the camera. Go ahead and pause your computer. Take a look at it if you need me. Okay. That was awkward. I am awkward. So, we have already done the hardest part of the problem. The hardest part of the problem is finding our common denominators. Second step, add the numerators. Right, step 2, add your numerators. N-U-M-E-R-A-T-O-R-S. Step 2, add your numerators. So our fractions we're dealing with here are 3/6 and 4/6, and I'm going to stick a plus here. We are going to add our numerators. What is 3 plus 4? You should all know this. 3 plus 4 is 7. Do not add your denominators. Tater just looked at me. Tater, don't add your denominators. That's bad. Tater says she's not going to add her denominators. So if she's not, you won't either. Do not add your denominators. They simply stay the same. So when you add 1/2 and 2/3, you will get 7/6. So, step 1, I first created 2 fractions with a common denominator. I did that by finding my greatest common factor and then doing my whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top problems. I found my new fractions were 3/6 and 4/6. The only thing we added today was adding our numerators. So I took my 2 new fractions. This one was 1/2 and this one was 2/3. I added the numerators and I did not touch the denominators. Do not touch. No touch. Alright, and we have 7/6. Right now it kind of looks like a backwards 7 and a 2, but it is 7/6. Now, our last step is to simplify. Right now, we have an improper fraction. We want to make it proper. We all know how to do this. We're going to take 7 divided by 6. 6 goes into 7 one time with a remainder of 1. So it becomes 1 and 1/6. There is our final answer, 1 and 1/6. All in all, we know 1/2 plus 2/3 equals 1 and 1/6 heart. So I'm going to hold this up to the frame. I know it's backward, but you know how to read, and you're pretty smart. Just think of it as a fun experiment. I will freeze and look awkward now. Okay, hope that you unpause the video. You probably took a picture of my weird face with your phone. I am not dumb. If you did, I did it to myself. So, now I just want you to solve a couple of problems for me. What I'm going to do is I am going to tell you the problem. You will pause the video, and then I'll do my work. Yes, it'll be backwards. That's not ideal, but I'll talk you through it. Then unpause the video, you'll go through my work, and you'll see if your work matches mine. For instance, if I did 1/2 plus 1/2, I'd say, okay, invisible children, solve 1/2 plus 1/2. Then you would pause the video, and you'd solve it, blah, 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 blah. Got my answer. Then you'd unpause the video, and you'd see me. All right, first thing I did was blah, 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 and I got the answer, blah, blah. You'll check your work, and if you got it right, you can move on to my next question. If you didn't, rewind, watch my work again, and see what you did wrong. Your assignment, Tater, do not bark, it's rude. Sorry. Your assignment will be to submit some text and just tell me how you did, if you got the problems right. If you didn't, I will make sure that I put that in your instructions. So, we are going to first solve 1/6 plus 1/3. Solve 1/6 plus 1/3. Go ahead and pause this video. See if you can do it. If you get stuck, all you have to do is unpause the video, and I will do my work. So, pause now. Pause. Alright, first I'm going to find my common denominator. So, I'm going to list my 2 for their multiples. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. And then for 6, I have 6. Now wait a second. There is a 6 up here and a 6 down here. So my common denominator is 6. Next, I am going to set up my whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top problems. 1/6 equals something over 6. 1/3 equals something over 6. Look like this. So, for the first one, you don't have to do anything because it's already 6, so I'm just going to stick the 1 back there. There's one new problem, or one new fraction, my bad. And then 3 times 2 is 6, so I have to do that to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. There is my second new fraction, 2/6. Now, some of you may have gotten a common denominator of 18. That is okay. It's still a common denominator. In that case, your new fractions would be, hold on, I'm working it out, 3/18 and 6/18. Either one of these, or if you did 12, I think you could do 12, that's fine too. 24, any of those. I know that most of you will either end up with 6 or 18 though. So if you did my my LCM way, you'll get 1/6 and 2/6. If you did the multiply the denominators way, you'll probably get 3/18 and 6/18. Good news, they're all equivalent. Oh, that was a lot of talking. Final step, we're going to add our numerators. So I'm going to do 1/6 plus 2/6. Only the numerators I will add. 1 plus 2 is 3. Keep my denominator the same. I get an answer of 3/6, and I know that I can simplify that to 1/2. So I find that 1/6 plus 1/3 is equal to 3/6 or 1/2. Alright, hopefully you got that right. If you didn't, go back and check your work with mine, see where you messed up. This is really just 2 simple steps. Put the fractions over a common denominator, add your numerators. That is it. I'm going to do one more, and then I will set you free. I'm going to put another link, a Khan Academy maybe, or a Math for Kids. Something that if the Miss Camp words aren't helping you, maybe that'll help you. You can always ask your parents. I think I'm teaching them the way that they learned it. But if they have a different way, Miss Camp doesn't care how you solve it. I just want you to get the right answer. So, my final problem. We are going to do 2/5 plus 2/3. Boom. 2/5 plus 2/3. Go ahead and pause this video, work it out, then watch my work and see if you get it right. I feel like a famous YouTuber. Pause. Alright, I'm going to start solving this now. Common denominator is step 1. I'm going to find a common denominator of 15. You can do that by either listing out your multiples, or in this case, you can do 5 times 3 is 15. So now I'm setting the whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top problems up. I have 5 and I need to get to 15. 5 times 3 is 15, so I'm going to do that to the top. 2 times 3 is 6. First new fraction. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. There is my second new fraction. Step 2, add the numerators. So 6/15 plus 10/15. Only adding the numerators, don't touch those denominators. I will get 16/15. Last step is to simplify, make it smaller or easier to read. I know this is an improper fraction, 16/15 is, so I am going to make that into a mixed number, 1 and 1/15. 15 goes into 16 one time with 1 left over out of 15. So hopefully you got 1 and 1/15. If you did not, see where you hacked up. This has been lovely talking to you all.